What did you take from the game on last weekend to move into this week?
There were some significant things that we learned in that environment in game one. We did a lot of good things. We didn't do enough to win, but the things that we struggled with are correctable, and we need to correct them now. And the guys were very receptive to that yesterday as we started working. We fouled way too much. Half of their points in the second half were from the free throw line. Over 33% of their points from the game were from the free throw line. And the fouling were not the types of fouls that we want. They were not staying in front of the ball, reaching in. And we have to stop that. And we have to get fouled more, too. And so there are lessons from Monday that apply for tomorrow and for the future. So we need to grow from it at a faster rate. A lot of the conversations that we've had since the game were typical mid-December, early January conversations. And that's part of the schedule we're playing, part of what you learn playing a Big 12 team on the road. So it was good.
Pharrell had several kind of going up strong baskets. Is that what you saw from him when you bring that, and what kind of dimension does that bring the team?
So, we probably knew who he was before anybody else. But over the last 2 years, I think he's grown into his body more, his strength more. I think he's been really good for us in regards to what we need. The physicality of the 3 games that we've played have forced him to grow. Some of that came alive, particularly in the second half on Monday. So that was encouraging. Shot 40% from the free throw line last year in Big Ten play. He's been very consistent over the last 2 months in working at that. Encouraged that he went 3 of 5. Hopefully we can keep going in that direction. But if he can have a presence for us at the rim defensively and commit a second defender offensively the way he was, that should allow our perimeter to have more creases to drive and more of a long closeout to shoot from, which is good. In addition to, it's been a while since we've had somebody to score in the paint. So it's been a learning process for our guys, but they like him and he likes that we like him.
How difficult, Coach, is it when it's a team of all new players? I mean, they have like 9 guys out of the portal, and so the only tape you're looking at is just how Coach Dawkins runs his offense and defense. So how tough is that?
Yeah, I would, just to be transparent, I don't know that I do a good job with it. I think my brain is such that I want to learn as much as I can. I want to read as much, listen to as much, watch as much, gather as much content as possible in preparation for anything. A game, to talk to you guys. I practice what I want to say. I know that's silly, but I think that's part of the job. And you want to get better at each aspect of your job. And that's one thing over the last 2 years, particularly in the month of November, I don't think I've adjusted very well to. I want more content. All right, well, where did that kid transfer from? All right, well, let's watch clips of him. Well, what about that guy? Well, when you do that with 10 guys, any coach, you can watch their style of play from the past and their returning players, if they have any, but you don't know if you have, in essence, a brand new team if you're going to play the exact same way. So is that a waste of my energy? Is that a waste of my emotion? So in truth, we thus far have just tried to find themes that we believe impact our team They are really fast in transition. Central Florida, really fast. And 40% of their shots against us happened in the first 12 seconds. That's super duper fast. So that was kind of our theme that we focused on. Really good on the glass. I think that's one thing that's important to us. That was another theme that we focused on. But until you have more data, it's hard to, you don't want to tell guys something that you don't know is true. And if we say it, we always want to show it. And if you can't show it, then you can't say it. And that applies to us, but that also applies to the opponent. So Commerce has played 2 games. So everything we know is based on those 2 games. And they have 11 new players. So we have a little bit of data from the past, but it's more on the 2 games from Monday and Wednesday.
So, Coach, when you, with the way things are now in college sports and basketball, with the transfer portal and new guys, so early in the year, does a team like yours that is so experienced and have so many come to, are you in a kind of a perverse way at a disadvantage?
Well, I guess if you were thinking of it from an opponent's standpoint, they do know more.
Right.
I think Forrest started his 85th game at Texas A&M on Monday. Jace was probably 17th game started. Solo, I would say 25, 26. H, somewhere in that range. Gochi was the only brand new player. Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it. There's not many guys on our team that haven't been scouted playing for us. But we need to use that to our advantage more, because I do think if you just categorically look at it, that should be a competitive advantage that we have so many returning players. But from a schematic advantage, they're going to know more about us than the stereotypical team.
So you said a lot of the things were fixable. What do you want to see tomorrow that would give you confidence as you head into these tougher non-conference?
Yeah, we've made a couple of adjustments from what we learned. We practiced them yesterday. We'll practice them again today. We're going to make another tweak today, all of which are based on what we learned from that opponent, that caliber of opponent, and how it applies going forward. I think without giving away the secrets for Coach Van Rossenberg to listen to, we have to defend without fouling. That's not a secret. And we fouled way too much. And we can't be in the position we were in, tied at half, up, 9 with 8 minutes to go, and they're accumulating points with the clock stopped. I think they scored 2 baskets over the last 9 minutes, but they scored 13 of 18 from the free throw line. Can't do that. And so that's not, any coach would say that, but that's the one thing that needs to be revealed more tomorrow.
What kind of shooting team do you think you're going to have this year?
I think Gochi will help that. If you have somebody that makes the defense collapse. We haven't played with our whole team yet, but I do think that once we get to that point, I think some of that will articulate and it'll make itself clear. We can't do much worse than we did last year. So if there was a line, I would hope that we're on the better side.
You feel like it, you are?
Yeah, I think we've addressed it in the portal. And I think, have as many guys that can catch and shoot as possible. But sometimes you can have guys that can catch and shoot and never get to because they're being face guarded if you don't have somebody to throw it inside too. And so I think we've addressed it in a couple of different ways.
You mentioned putting tweaks in practice the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Is it easier doing that with this group
Absolutely.
of guys?
Absolutely. Great character, great buy-in, great ownership amongst the players because of their longevity here. And some of the adjustments, Chip, that we made were adjustments that we have made in the past before. So when we make it, the 3 transfers are unaware of it. It's new language and new adjustments for them. But I do think one thing I watched yesterday relative to their body language was when we made those adjustments, do they remember when we did that? Any day following a day off, we have early bird. So we were off Tuesday and we had early bird Wednesday. And it wasn't an adjustment, but one of the things that we took from the game, we showed and then practiced, so to say. And I said, guys, when's the last time we had this? And Solo said, January. And I go, yeah. So we want the result to be better, but in the process of what we need to learn, we're having this conversation the day after game number 1, not this conversation in the second week of SEC play.
How'd you like their response overall?
So good. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Some of that is I like them too much. Some of that is I think they believe in what we're doing. But at the same time, to Olin's point, like, we're not an unknown commodity. Not the player, not the style. So we have to understand that too. And that becomes more difficult to execute at what you're best at. And you have to fight harder to be able to do that.
I think Wade had 7 assists and 2 turnovers.
Was good.
Did you like the way he facilitated the ball, even though he wasn't scoring at maybe a higher volume that he?
Yeah, I didn't think he scored the ball efficiently. He knows that. We need collectively, 4 being probably closer to the front of the line than the back. We can't just shoot 15 free throws. We've been among the nation's best at free throw attempts and free throw makes during our time. When an opponent is making more than you're attempting, that's one of the things we want to do. So yes, we need to score more efficiently. 4 needs to score more efficiently. He would say that if he was standing here. But from a playmaking standpoint, 7 and 2 we would take every day. And I think a team that was as fast and as defensive-minded, gambling for steals the way that they did at the pace that they want to play, that theme, we did a really good job. We played with a low turnover rate. We need to get fouled more, and we need to quit fouling. We need to get fouled, and we can't foul. And I think that would help some of the efficiencies of what we're talking about.
How much can Wade's ability to facilitate help you guys as you're trying to get the other emerging scores to get going throughout the season?
Yeah, he's ultra aware of that. He likes our team. He likes our additions. He does want to have some more playmaking. But we've got to, at the same time, him and everybody else. In some ways, if you hold a Big 12 team who is averaging 84 to 64, you probably think you won. But if they scored 22 of the 64 from the free throw line, there is some outlier defensive stat that's bad. I think their points per possession was .97. That's pretty good. It's not great, but it's okay. And then offensively, if you score 61 and you only shoot 15 free throws and you only make 8, okay, well, we need to get fouled. We need to make more free throws. But then from an efficiency standpoint, we need to be a little more effective.
Can I ask about Manning? He ended the year, he was really good at the end of the year. His first game wasn't too good. I don't know what you've seen, what the first 2 games, in your opinion, were like from him.
The 2 scrimmages and Central Florida, I do not think he was near as good as he was the last 8. I don't know if any player that we've had can stay at that rate, shooting 55% from three, like he was just playing at a ultra high level. We need to get him to play at an ultra high level offensively, but we also need him to be ultra solid defensively. I think he had 25% of our turnovers in 15 minutes. We don't need to play with that type of turnover rate on offense, any player, not just Mo. And then defensively, we need to be more engaged too.